the Football Pod on Off the Ball in partnership with AIB, proud sponsors of the Football, Hurling and Camogie All-Ireland Club Championships. Hashtag the toughest.
Hello there. Well, after a 2-month sabbatical, the Football Pod is back. We've been busy, the three of us, over the last little while. Paddy Andrews and his wife Doreen welcomed the baby boy to the world. I managed to get my hands on a senior football medal in Clare. And James, you got a new haircut, did you?
Yeah, I've been doing nothing. I still have the same amount of Munster Football Championship medals club as you, though.
Oh, dirty. Right from the off.
Low. That is harsh.
I know. Parents to Castlehaven, very, very strong outfit. And unlucky, Tom. I know you're feeling a little bit irritable today. I completely understand it.
I didn't think we were going to go straight into this.
I thought you'd be at least 15 points deep today, drowning yourselves after yesterday.
Yeah, no, the lads, there's a players' WhatsApp group hopping there. They've been in the Woodcross, I think. There was a red weather warning in Clare today, so a lot of their jobs conveniently got.
We had a red weather warning up in Dublin as well, and it was like a stiff breeze. Closed the schools and everything. Nothing was going on.
Yeah,
soft, lads.
Same as.
Have to be honest, I didn't notice it last night. I may have been 10 or 11 points deep though, so that could have been a reason for it.
Yeah, relatively fresh tea for our return to the airwaves. Is anyone listening to this? Is this behind the paywall or are we all right?
No, Paddy, our Monday shows are free.
Oh,
and we'll be releasing our members plan very soon. So that'll be coming out for season 4, hopefully. So that's exciting, and we'll get into that shortly. So yeah, relatively fresh today.
Is this season 3.5 then, or what?
It's the tail end of season 3. 5 club episodes.
5 club episodes. Okay.
Yeah, we're doing the next 5 Mondays, and yeah, we'll be with you every Monday. You'll get it in the Football Pod feed or wherever you listen to your Off the Ball podcasts. You can get it for free on a Monday, and yeah, our members plan to follow. Jimmy,
Tommy,
you had your eye in that game yesterday. Yeah, I'm fresh yesterday, but there's a kind of a real taste of regret last night. We kind of feel like we left it behind us. We had a real chance to go down to Páirc Uí Chaoimh, such a class stadium, and do a job. Lost the.
It's probably the nicest surface around, isn't it?
It was unbelievable. It was class. Yeah.
Never played in the new one. You were done by the new one as well, Jimmy, were you? You wouldn't have played there, would you?
I was only starting, but I'm only 28.
It is a regret. You see it on telly, and I've been in it at a couple of games, and as you can see, it would be a nice place to play.
You definitely played there. They opened it in 2014.
No. We never played Cork. Like, Cork were brutal that time as well. So we played in Páirc Uí Rinn, played in the old Páirc Uí Chaoimh, but never got down to the new one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a savage field. In fairness, they always kept the surface immaculate. And Páirc Uí Rinn always had an unbelievable surface as well. They're lucky in Cork.
I think it's like a hybrid surface they have. So there's just such a bounce. Even at this time of the year, there's such a bounce off the ground. And there was a bit of a breeze yesterday, but it was a breeze that suited shooters, I think, at certain halves. And yeah, it was a funny game. I don't know.
Odd Tommy playing in a stadium that big, but what? There was probably 1,000 people at it. We talked about Croker being mad when there's 10,000 people there, but playing a club game in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, I would say it was
there was probably 1,400 at it. It's funny, both teams are blue, so it kind of felt like, there was a serious noise there. Yeah, it was weird. Like one side of the stand was completely empty. Obviously, both terraces closed, and I never really noticed it, to be honest. I'm sure you don't really think about those things when you're in the middle of a game, like, but yeah, it was frantic enough. And it's actually funny. I'm reading some of the reports today about the game, and yeah, what did you think of the game, James? Because it was a very cagey game. Obviously, it was
pull no punches. You could tell no punches here. Like if it was shy, give it to Tommy. Can't let him off the hook.
Well, it was Cratloe's to lose. Tommy came on then. It was game over. It was Castlehaven took it.
That is rude. You're a teed that one up there. I teed that up there.
No, I must say I enjoyed the game. It was it was tentative at times. You could tell that both teams were kind of nervy. Like they didn't want to go too far behind both sides. It was point for point up until 7-7, I reckon. It was just constant score, not many turnovers. silly turnovers. But I think that the Castlehaven just had a bit of class up front with Hurley. He swung over 1 point off the left, standing still 45 yards out against the wind. With his bad leg to put them a point up. And like Cratloe were kind of working hard to get scores, and when you have a fella that can just stand still and kick it over from 45, it makes some difference.
Yeah, in fairness now, our cornerbacks, David Collins and ended up playing wing back, delivered 2 majestic points at the outside of the boot, then an injury time in between, and Mark Collins, don't know how Mark Collins got that shot away. He had 2 lads diving at his feet. There was 4 scores, I think, in 90 seconds of injury time. It was chaotic, but there had been 20 minutes before that without a score. And I think when we look back on it, that's probably the 20 minutes that we didn't really push on before the goal, obviously. I kind of got caught, Paddy, for the goal as well. So James maybe have it as a point for that.
Jesus Christ. But you know what? It's funny you say that with Hurley, right? You look at the games that were on telly over the weekend as well. The Trillick Cross McGlen game on Saturday night. And then obviously a really good game, Kilcoo against Scotstown yesterday. There's so little between teams at this level of club. Like, it's so scores, they're all low scoring games. It's not like, it's rare enough you're going to see at this time of year 60-minute games, you're going to get a 117 or 180. Generally 12 or 13 points can win it for you. And teams are at this stage in the provincial chapter really well organised, hard to break down. But that difference, it's that little bit of stardust can make such a difference. Hurley, obviously, for Castlehaven. I know we'll talk about the Scotstown Kilcoo game, having Beggan and Kieran Hughes with massive scores at the end. It's just, there's so little between the teams. If you have someone who can just nick a score out of nowhere, that could be the difference. It's all the games. You've seen it over the last couple of weekends, and we'll see it again over the next 3 or 4 weeks. It's so tight, and I can see why you'd have regrets, Tommy, losing a game like extra time. I mean, it's a hard one. It's so hard to get back at club level as well. You see Cross McGlen very disappointed with their second half performance, and then Kilcoo, who would have had their eyes on possibly winning the whole thing, dejection, losing the last play of the game. So it's that little bit of stardust. If the club teams have it, and it's usually their county lads, if they come up trumps, that can be the winning and losing of the game for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what it comes down to with that as well? Is when you're looking for that score, say you're a point down, everyone knows we want to get it to a Hurley. Or like everyone, even if the opposition know, it doesn't really matter a lot of the time because you'll work them a yard or two. It's kind of the teams then, and I'm not saying this is about Cratloe because not at all, but say even from our team at home, sometimes when you don't have a plan to get that shooter on an important score, those clutch moments, that's when you can lose out.
That's what I love about the Cratloe team though. Like this year, like we've had such an unbelievable journey, and underdogs, I would say, in nearly every game. There was one game this year, if we lost it, we were in the relegation playoff, the winner's going into the quarterfinal. But we had clutch shooters stepping up in injury time with number 2 and number 5 on their back, kicking points from 45 yards. But like, that's no fluke. Like, these are the fellas that are in the dressing room telling you that if we need a score, I'm ready to take that shot on. And I'd be fairly confident of 7 or 8 lads from Cratloe taking that shot on the last minute. And I think that says a lot about a team when you've got kind of characters like that in it. It's a sickener because a goal in extra time is a game changer. It's like 6 points.
The games are so tight. Like they are. And it's moments. And then look, if you come out on the other side, if you win one of those games, talk about the place is on wheels, the momentum out of it. But if you lose it, like it's just with club stuff. I remember we lost the Leinster club final, 10, 11 years ago must have been. And we never got back. It seems like it's just harder to get back. A county game, obviously myself and Jimmy and Dublin and Kerry, you're going to be thereabouts year on year, but with the club, it's such a special moment and it's a tough one. Fair play to you, T, coming on today, very professional as the new. You're taking this new job and off the ball very seriously here now.
Yeah,
coming on.
You got a promotion off the back of this pod.
I did.
Do we get a promotion, Penny?
Do we get anything out of this?
No. I got the promotion because I won a senior medal. You couldn't.
Sorry.
That was it, senior county medal. Yeah, exactly. Now, I don't think I would have won a senior county medal without the pod, so I'll thank you boys for that.
Really? Okay.
I think I was relying on you both I think you were getting calls. Paddy, you were looking for a bit of maybe psychological advice from Paddy and a bit of injury advice from James. So that's the way
Another dig.
You two just keep it sitting here. We've been away for 2 months, lad.
James,
it's like an old married couple, the pair of you.
I'll be honest, James. I spent a lot of time on the physio table the last 2 weeks getting dry needled, and I had the pins in at one stage, and I just got an awful fit of laughter lying on the physio table. And the lads were like, "What are you laughing at?" And I said, "I don't know if this is on the pod or not, but I said, I've just thought of what something James had told me before, that he has his own dry needling kit at home, and he'd often just drop the jocks and go on, James, tell us, go on."
Christina, I was doing it. No, 2 nights ago, I'd say I had 12 needles in my left glute.
For what? You're not even playing
just
anymore.
Huh?
Are you even playing anymore? Like,
I ran.
I was flicking through.
I ran home after night out.
Oh Jesus Christ! You tripped over a curb coming home from ladies.
No, I had a sore groin.
From what?
And I said, from playing. I'm still playing club. We're just not playing very well. And I said, I better go at this. And sure, once you put the first one in, and if you get a bit of reaction, you say, all right, I'm out of here. 12 needles later. But there's no point in going to physio paying 60 quid. Come to me.
There's a sign.
Jimmy, this is a niche. You were trying to promote yourself as a coach all the last season. Now it's a physio this year.
Yeah. Black market physio in the back of Kernan.
Tell us this, Jimmy. I was keeping an eye out there on that East Kerry All-Star team now. Won the championship again. Not a peep out of you. What's the story? Why weren't you playing?
Oh, yeah. No, I wasn't even fit for our club championship, so no, I just took a few weeks off.
You just do 1 year on, 1 year off, like.
No, I couldn't go into East Kerry half injured, half playing, and there's 5 or 6 young fellas knocking down the door to be in the Kerry panel. Do you know?
Right. You started last year, though.
So the main man, him and the Cliff.
You started last year.
Oh, it wasn't about starting. It was about just like being fit and able to play, and I just didn't. I didn't feel at my peak.
To be fair, if you're dry needling yourself, yeah, it's not a good sign.
I've been doing that 10 years minimum.
Jesus Christ!
I just think that's so funny.
Saved me a fortune.
Jesus Christ! Anyway, lads, great to be back. Come on,
yeah,
get the show.
No, but just. Yeah, exactly. Well, look at to be still playing football, James. I like how you do it in Kerry is unbelievable. I don't know what you're playing now. Is it like district leagues or something?
Yeah, we're playing the O'Donoghue Cup. It's the most prestigious tournament out there.
It's your own.
It is the World Cup. It's the World Cup of football in Kerry. Honestly, this is.
But the world. You actually take it seriously. Like this is like people listening in might think that this is a wind up.
Is this a legitimate
thing?
But
anytime you play with your club, you take it seriously.
Get the fuck out of here, like.
Yeah, but it's not league or championship, like.
It is a championship. It's East Kerry Championship. It's a senior championship. You got Dr. Crope's Legion, Spa, Ratmore, Kilcoo.
So they're all intermediate.
Lestry, Fossa. No, Crokes aren't intermediate. And anyway, in Kerry, this is how strong we are down here. You wouldn't know about it now in your weaker counties. You can win a Munster championship and then be relegated to intermediate in Kerry the following year. Austin Stacks and Kearns Rallies, same thing.
These are legends down there. It's something else.
Yeah. Well, listen, that might be one of the secrets in Kerry anyway, that you're still playing football, because you just never end the year as a loser. Like you just keep playing till you win. Like
everyone gets a medal. Like.
Yeah, even though we want to
you get a medal and a can of Coke and a bag of potatoes at the end of every year.
Yeah, well done,
like the under 10s.
Yeah, I was just saying it's a funny feeling, like you win a county championship yet you still feel like you've lost. You're beaten. Like only one team is going to end up as the winner at the end of it, you know. Scotstown have certainly put themselves in the mix, lads. They bet Kilcoo, not one of the, you'd say,
it was a good game
for the All-Ireland out. Yeah,
it was a decent game, I have to say. Some finish for Scotstown. I thought they were the better team overall, I have to say. I thought two contrasts of style of play, obviously, as well. Like Kilcoo reminded me of Derry, like unbelievably well drilled. Really, their conditioning, their athleticism, that running game, they're creating lots of overlaps and hurting Scotstown. And then Scotstown were being far more direct. Obviously, the Jack McCarron inside, you know, Kieran Hughes, begging Darren Hughes. It was like a nice contrast of styles. It was a really interesting game. I thought the penalty was soft for Kilcoo. What do you think of that, Jimmy? Did you see it?
Soft, yeah.
I thought it was soft because it was like, do you know that when someone gets in behind you and gets in behind the defence, you nearly panic. You just sprint back and dive in to try and get a block. And I think Darren Hughes comes in. Put it this way, right? If that was an inter-county game, I don't think the ref would have given a penalty. Like Darren Hughes comes in and kind of gives him a dunk, but I don't think you'll get that in a senior inter-county game. But that looks like it's the big score to swing it. Kilcoo puts them ahead, and they're so well organised. Obviously, like Laverty's playing. He's like quarterbacking it. They're not giving the ball away. Carl Lacey's on the sideline, and you just think they're going to keep Scotstown at arm's length until the final play. My Lord, you're talking about regrets for Cratloe losing that game. Kilcoo, the fullback. What? Oh, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. They had a man up and they win the kick out, and you're just thinking these guys are going to keep the ball for the minute, kill the clock. And he tries Ryder overs. 60-yard crossfield kick pass. Kicks it away. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. But to be fair, Began still had the work to do. But what a finish. And you're right. That gives them a big chance. I actually thought Kieran Hughes was going to take a mark. And I was like, it was probably outside his range. And I was like, try and win a free there. He ends up getting a free. And then Began, to be fair, Began misses a couple in the first half. And we're talking about this, your big players nailing big scores. And I was thinking, he's a bit off. But to be fair, Kieran Hughes kicks a massive score from a mark as well, 2 or 3 minutes before to get it level. And then Began comes up trumps. And what a win for Scotstown. Like Kilcoo had their eyes on winning that All-Ireland. And Scotstown, they're right in the mix now for Ulster and having a shot at the All-Ireland. But it was a really good game, I have to say, for this time of year.
What I found very interesting about Scotstown was the way they were able to pick off a couple of handy marks around 35 yards out when the game got very close.
Yeah.
I think 2 of their last 3 scores were marks just on the edge of the scoring zone. But when a team drops very back too far defensively, these pockets kind of open up. But a lot of times teams are too kind of interested in going through the middle, trying to get that easy score in the scoring zone.
Yeah.
But they were picking off marks, maybe just on the edge of the scoring zone to the side, and they got 2 invaluable points off them. But once the equalizer was sent over by Hughes, the most impressive thing I thought about Scotstown was the way McCarran, he knew it was going over, first of all, and then he said, we're getting another chance. We're going for the jugular here. We're going to win this. So as soon as the ball went over the bar, he got the ball, almost put it back on the tee for the keeper and said, kick this out. We're going to win. And you can imagine being inside in goals with the keeper there. And you're thinking, Jesus, I'm kicking out here. If we lose it, we're in trouble. He decides to go short, and the rest is history. They kick it away, and it goes back into a free. But I just thought that little brilliant mentality and mindset by McCarran to put them under pressure to get the kick out off actually won Scotstown the game in the end.
But I just think if you're Kilcoo and it's like 2 minutes beforehand, Scotstown get the black card from the substitute, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I would have been fucking raging with him if he was my team. Just comes off the bench, gets a stonewall black card, and against all the teams, the way Kilcoo play, that running game, creating overlaps, they get up. Ryan O'Toole, very similar to Darren Hughes for the penalty. Kilcoo get in behind, and he just lunges in because he's panicking. That gives the free for Kilcoo to go a point up. And like I say, they're such an experienced, a well-organised team. A point up, a man up, you're thinking they've done enough here. And that makes it even more impressive for Scotstown to turn it around. But Kilcoo will be kicking themselves. But like we were saying earlier, with Hurley for Castlehaven, if you can get and it's generally your county guys, if you can get a big turn out of them, that can be the difference. And that was the difference for, Conor McCarthy's probably quiet enough. Scotstown obviously have quite a big Monaghan contingent. Shane Carey, they're relatively quiet. McCarran had moments, but Darren Hughes and Began and then Kieran Hughes, they come up with massive plays, and that swings it for Scotstown. And you look the night before for Crossmaglen and Trillick, which wasn't as high a quality a game and wasn't as entertaining a game by any means, but Crossmaglen, they didn't get that out of their big players. Jamie Clark had 1 or 2 moments in the first half. Obviously, the second half was just a meltdown. He got sent off. But Rian O'Neill doesn't reach the heights you'd expect from, one of the top players in the country. And that can be the difference. Like I say, there's so little between the teams. If your big players can come up with big moments and talk about Scotstown doing that. And that's got them in, they'll be favourites against Trillick in the semi-final in a couple of weeks' time, and they'll have their eyes on beating Kilcoo, that puts them right in the mix to win the Ulster Championship. I know Glenn will have something to say about that as well, but they will have a right cut after the rest of this thing, and it's such a massive win for them.
Yeah. So we had Scotstown beating Kilcoo at that late begging point. Trillick getting the better across McGlenn. Lee Brennan, one of the players that's dropped off the throne panel in the last couple of years, had that little bit of magic. He had a lovely solo dummy off the left and an outside of the boot spinner in the second half, but it was a disappointing second half.
7 years since a Tyrone team has won in the Ulster Club Championship. I couldn't believe that. Insane. Yeah. That is fucking for a county like Tyrone, like such a strong. It's not. I get. It's obviously not the strongest club scene, but it is 7 years for them not to win one game in the Ulster Club Championship. That's incredible.
The Tyrone club scene is savage. It's one of the most.
So what's been going on? What happened?
Keenly contested championship. They eat themselves alive in Tyrone, and then they're barely fit to play Ulster after it. And that's the way it's been for a long time. That's
7 years to win a game. Then.
Yeah, they've had a terrible record. You're right, yeah, but Trillick definitely looked the part the last day, and obviously without Matty Donnelly, who had that horrific knee injury a couple of months back. So then we had Gowna, the Cavan champions, beaten by that sucker punch by Naomh Conaill, the Donegal champions, a last-minute goal, high ball into the square, breaks. The wing-back finishes it, and Glen holding off Erin's own, as Paddy mentioned. So Trillick, Scotstown, Glen and Naomh Conaill in the semi-finals. And in Munster, Cratloe, unfortunately. Obviously, well done to Castlehaven, won after extra time. They played the Waterford
through gritted
champions.
teeth. Well done to Castlehaven.
Rathgormack next. And on the other side of Munster, Clonmel bet Newcastle West, who bet them last year to set up their semi-final with Dingle. On paper going into this, like somebody competing in it, I would have seen Clonmel as possibly the favourites for Munster.
Dingle.
I would see that. I would consider Clonmel to be favourites for Munster.
Yeah.
James, I'm not
Jimmy,
sure what you
give us a bit of insight here.
Dingle.
Surely Dingle, no? Geaney, O'Sullivan.
Well, Dingle were very strongly fancied for the county championship in Kerry. They won the club championship, right? So they came out on top. There's 8 clubs in the club championship. They won that. They were by far the best team, playing great football in the summer.
Spurs.
Or just towards the end of the summer. And then they got to the county championship and they just slipped up a little bit against McCarry. They got 2 red cards. I think they almost wanted it too much. Sounds ridiculous, but they kind of got caught on that emotional side of the game, I think, and just got caught by McCarry when they were favourites. But they have serious quality. They had Mark O'Connor back for the championship. They've obviously Tom Sullivan, Paul Gainey, Conor Gainey, Dylan Gainey, Mikey Gainey. So you could name out the household names they have. But I suppose the main thing about Dingle is they're a very good side at home because their home venue, it's as close to an Istanbul setup as you're going to get. I mean, it's never a nice day back there when you're playing. It's windy, it's rainy, and they're just excellent at grinding out results. And this time of the year, that's what it's about. Tommy, you've seen it in your games. When it's windy and rainy, and you've a couple of classy forwards that can swing over a few points when it's against the odds, you're in the running, or you're in the reckoning for every game then.
We were supposed to play in Castlehaven this week, and the game was moved on the Friday to Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Very late notice.
Because of the storm or what?
I'd say now they knew that pitch wouldn't be playable.
Oh, look at this. He's bitter about this.
You're not going to complain about Páirc Uí Chaoimh. I'm not bitter. You are.
They're a very good team. Dripping off every word you come out with. Yeah.
But
you're using this. We're not using our platform here to fucking promote your own
agendas. No, not at all. But the pitch at this time of the year makes some difference. It just makes such a difference, the surface that you're going to be playing on. It's a different sport, depending on where you're playing. I can just imagine what it'd be like down in Dingle. Big news today, lads. Aaron Kernan has retired from club football at the age of 39. 23 years, his 23rd season, 23 years after his senior debut. He won 18 Armagh Senior Football Championship medals, 8 Ulster titles, 3 All-Ireland medals with the club. It's 10 years.
Not bad.
10 years nearly since he retired from Armagh, where he won 4 Ulster medals as well. He was 2005 Young Footballer of the Year. And just a club stalwart, true and true, James. Just what a man.
So he won 18.
23.
Out of how many?
23.
Yeah. That's fair. Straight in on the negatives,
He had a 78% hit rate when it came to winning an Armagh Senior Football Championship, which just tells you that where Cross have been over the last while.
You've got to be, what a sour note for him. Obviously, a legendary player, to finish up. That was a weird game on Saturday night. Like you think, like I said, I don't think it was high quality as the game on Sunday, the Scotstown Kilcoo game, but Crossmaglen not to score in the second half. 7-0, they lose the second half. With the players they have, like Rian O'Neill,
and
Jamie
they had
Clark,
the wind.
McConville. And like I thought they were a better team in the first half. And you think, without, look, it wasn't, I think both teams were struggling for scores, which again was surprising with the forwards Crossmaglen had. But for them to just totally self-destruct in that second half. This is very, very disappointing for them. For Eric Kernan, obviously, he's played in some of the best club teams of all time. And they would have fancied their chances, obviously, particularly the positions they put themselves into in that first half. You think they're gonna have enough to get through this. But for him, on a personal note, look, like even just playing that long is an incredible achievement at that level. But with the success he's had for it as well, hats off to him, I have to say. 39, Jesus, puts us to shame. No dry leading in himself there, I'd say.
But with Kernan, in fairness to him, he always played wing back, right? But in fairness to him, he played like loads of different positions from wing back. It's like he ran the game. Everything always seemed to go down his side. He was kicking the ball in. He was under the kick out.
Was he not a free taker as well? Was he taking a couple of frees for our man from wing back? And he's different. Do you know the way you look at wing backs? Like he is obviously a very athletic player, but he's not, spit the mold of like McCaffrey or Gavin White. He's bursting up the pitch like lightning quick, but he was a playmaker. He had such an impact on the game. He was a classy player, and that was a very good Armagh team. Look, we covered this before. I'm sure they would have felt they probably should have won more than the one All Ireland they got in 2002.
Well, he never won one.
I know he came on slightly later, but I think 05, they obviously lose to Tyrone, and that semi-final, you would have thought Armagh could possibly have won that, and then Kerry beat them in 06, and Donaghy's obviously a very famous game, and that was Armagh they were on the slide after that, but for him, like I say, it's still an incredible career, 18 championship medals. Was it 8 Ulsters and 3 All-Irelands? Some going, I'll take that.
Didn't Kernan do the toughest trade with a soccer player over in England, actually?
David Bentley.
Oh, was this?
David Bentley.
Is this the AFC team?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Bentley came over and played for Crossmaglen.
Bentley was a legend.
For Crossmaglen.
Yeah, we had Bentley on Off the Ball to talk about that. He was a great interview. I must dig it out at some stage. Great chat with Ben. He was so sound.
Because Bentley was suspended from Spurs at the time. Do you remember, for throwing the water over Harry Redknapp?
Get him on the pod. Character.
The Crossmaglen Instagram did like a kind of little interview with him, and there's a couple of interesting bits in it. Proudest moment: winning the 2007 All Ireland Club Final replay against Dr. Crokes. Hardest player you ever marked: Jim McConnelly. Right. What does the future hold? I've currently pitched my CV to Tony Mack to see if he'll allow me to join the under-10 coaching team for 2024, awaiting his response. Like, talk about your 18 club medals, but like dedication, the hunger to keep going, but the dedication to your club and just being one of these standard setters. You can just see it with fellas like that. Not every club would have them, but they're lucky to have players like Aaron Kernan. Even Gary Sice last week picked up his 13th county medal. Like, there's something going on there that is just driving them to keep going. Like, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
I love it, and it's such an influence. And obviously that it's a very unique club, Crossmaglen. The record they've had, the success they've had, and that really breeds more success. Obviously they haven't been as dominant outside of Armagh the last couple of years as well. But not just Aaron, but the Kernan family up there, the McAtees, obviously McConville. It's a unique story, that club, and he's as much a part of that as anyone else. But you can see it there. He's just mad to get straight back into it. It's just a culture and mentality up there, and the best clubs have that. It's no secret that you see these kind of standout clubs in hurling and football and the club championships. They're back year on year on year because they have that. Yes, they've got some excellent players, but Crossmaglen, everyone knows that the story up there. So it's credit to him. He'll be disappointed, obviously, to finish up the way it did on Saturday night. But Jesus, he can look back with pretty proud of what he's achieved over that 23 years. Jesus Christ!
Have you all got floodlights or something down there, like?
Down the kingdom.
Because like we've been like Cratloe were reliant on kind of some
parking
clubs
cars
around
on the
that
side
really
of the pitch, really.
that really helped us out for the last 6 weeks. You know, Tulla have a great new setup of floodlights. Dura Bearfield, UL, we trained them for the last couple of weeks. Cratloe
UL is nice, yeah.
Do you know, it's a tiny spot. Like there's one pitch where everyone trains, and you're kind of reliant on other.
Well, we have a great setup in Legion, but that was through a good fundraising couple of years and a lot of hard work. But the one thing I would say about Kerry teams is that, and it didn't happen to us as a club, but hopefully someday. Because there's only 8 senior teams in the Kerry Club Championship, we're very strong intermediate and junior. So our 9th best team in Kerry will be representing Kerry in a Munster Championship and possibly an All-Ireland campaign. So there's a very good chance for those teams to go on and go through the stages and all the way to Pro Park, possibly. And when those teams do get that far, they're doing huge fundraisers. They're coming into a lot of money. They're really improving a lot of structures in the club because they're making a big push for it. And even if you think about the teams that are left in those championships at the moment, Listowel won the junior championship, and it's going to be Fossa or Milltown to win the intermediate championship. Those 2 clubs that progress, like, they have a huge chance to really improve their clubs. It's a fantastic achievement to win Kerry, but a fantastic opportunity to go and develop your club by going far in the All-Ireland series.
Yeah, 100%. It'd be huge for them. And when you see, like, even on the flip side of that, how many Munster campaigns did you play with the Legion? Do you have the one in 16?
So yeah, it was a funny one for us that year, because we drew.
What happened that year? You played Nemo?
And at that time, it was whoever lasted the longest in the county championship or won the county championship progressed. So we were in the final. So we were representing,
won the club
we drew the final. So our replay was on in 2 weeks' time, but the game representing Kerry was on the following week.
Jesus Christ.
So we had to kind of decide: do we go all out for the Nemo game representing, or do we hold our cards for the county championship replay, or do you get caught between the 2? So we ended up kind of resting a few, or we had a few knocks anyway, resting a few against Nemo, and we lost it, and then we ended up actually losing the county championship final by a point in the replay after extra time. So that was 3 bad weeks.
Yeah, look, it's opening up. We mentioned already the Ulster semi-finals, and Scotstown have obviously put themselves in a brilliant position. We have the Connacht semi-finals this weekend. I'll actually be at Corafin Ballina and Pierce Stadium. We have St. Bridges of Roscommon playing the Leitrim champions Mohill. And the Leinster Club semi-finals, we have St. Lomans of Westmeath and Naas of Kildare. That should be a cracking game. And Kilmacud Crokes are going to RD. They're going to be playing the St. Mary's, the Loud champions. That'll be
slam dunk.
Slam dunk, is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We'll wait and see. One of the biggest games of the weekend is the aforementioned Kerry Intermediate Football Championship final. Fossa against Milltown Castlemaine.
The Cliff in his 800th match of the year.
This is ridiculous. But they're back. The 2 Cliffords. How did these Kerry manage the 2 Cliffords when they have this huge game for Fossa coming up? Did they play them flat out for the last 2 months?
Well, the Cliffords didn't actually play in the group stage of the county championship. So our county championship is a group, and then it's a knockout. So they didn't play the first 3 games. They came in and played the quarterfinal, semi-final, final. But like, this intermediate final would have been on their minds for the whole thing. So they would have won the semi-final before the county championship even started, and now they're just coming back to play the final. So that would have been in their heads 100%. And they have a huge chance. Fitzmaurice is obviously involved in them. He's done an unbelievable job with them. But they won the junior All-Ireland last year. So to be in an intermediate final in Kerry it's serious going. Every stage they've got to, you've kind of thought it was a step too far, but they just keep getting better and better. And they've been knocking out 20 points every single game. So now they're going to come up against a team who are probably very strong defensively, keep teams down to 10 or 11 points. So it's going to be interesting to see, can Milltown keep Fossa down to that? Or can Fossa go and kick 20 points against a good defensive team? So it'll be very interesting.
Massive for both clubs. So yeah, best of luck to every team in action this weekend. Just before we wrap up this week's episode of Football Pod Lads, which is brought to you with thanks to AIB, proud sponsors of the Camogie Football and Hurling Club Championships. Kevin Cassidy's Twitter is well worth a look this week. His last 3 tweets in particular. So the third last one is a gorgeous pint of stout. I'm not sure what the bar is. It could be his own bar back home in Donegal. The next two tweets, though, I found quite interesting. I'm going to put them up on screen, but I'm not a coaching guru, but here's some advice. Number 2 to 4, tight man markers, able to look after their own man. Number 5 to 7s, decent markers, but can see a pass and deliver. 8 and 9, you need absolute animals who can catch and kick a ball 30 metres, and at least one man on the 40 with 2 men inside. He follows that up with, that previous tweet is how you go sorting your team out. Follow it, and you will save your club 30 or 40 grand on bringing in, quote, the perfect manager.
Who's he aiming this at? He's having a go at someone here, like.
And we'll call it quits. I don't think he's aiming it at anyone in particular.
Nah, he's having a go at someone.
But I'm sure.
When did this tweet go up? When did this tweet go up? What match was on at that time?
Yeah.
On the circuit.
How many points in?
Exactly. This is the old Paul Flynn thing of 10 points and throw a tweet up.
There's something in it, though.
He's just having a go. You reckon it's just in general the old circuit, particularly in the club scene. There's a lot of managers going around to a lot of clubs getting a few bob.
It's the time of year, right, where there's a bit of a clear out going on. Maybe fellas are stepping away, or there's new management teams going on. But teams are desperate. They don't want to be in January waiting to get a club manager in.
If you think of any county, definitely down here, I can think of a few. But you'd always have the same fellas on the circuit, as I call it. That if a managerial position comes up, their names be thrown out. And once you're thrown out the first time, you're going to be thrown up for a chance every time a job comes up, and it just seems to be the same fellas going round and around and around, which is fine. But I think he has a point where it doesn't take that much to get a team to the level that some of them are getting. You know, it's the really top fellas who take a team to the next level, and there's a big discrepancy, I think, between the two.
James, though, I think when you talk about, say, the money that even clubs have to raise to play, or whatever it comes to fundraising for facilities and stuff like that, if you can have it in your own club, if you can have somebody from inside or a group of people from inside who are able to bring a group along or foster it, and it's coming from inside the club, you're saving some, before even you get to everything else, you're saving huge money every year.
As well, though. You know, there's always that element that we had it in our club. We obviously had a couple of coaches come in from outside. There is that element of, you know, they're getting a few quid, they're gone, they're out the gap. They don't really give a shit long term, you know. And you look at it happens at county level as well. It's not, sometimes there's just not the person in the club or in the county that can bring you forward. But I do see where Kevin Cassidy is getting at there. And as Jimmy says, you can see it. You see it happening year on year. Guys come in and do 1 year and then they're out the gap to somewhere else. But without being successful, I get it. If someone comes in and they shoot the lights out and you end up winning the championship or winning the provincial championship or whatever it might be, all power to you. But I'm intrigued. I must check when Cassidy put that tweet up. I want to see what game was on telly. He'd have been in his bonnet, like 100%. But he's not. I tell you, he's not far wrong.
Well, it's obviously not everyone.
Right, you know, it does. You can overcomplicate these things, and yeah, he's not far wrong.
I would say it can make a huge difference, because one of the things I'd be very passionate about in terms of club development, and I wouldn't be involved in it now with the Legion, but hopefully in the future. But investigate coaches, as opposed to just concentrating on the players or a senior team, because if you could have 20 of the best players, if you have unqualified coaches or coaches who aren't passionate or coaches who don't grab the players right, those players turn very average very quickly. And I think it's an underappreciated role in clubs to train up coaches and get them early. Get the lads who maybe don't want to play, or their bodies don't let them play, but they have the mind for it. Get those fellas into coaching. I think we're losing people like that, and the standard of coaching and managing even around the country, I think is pretty limited. But if clubs can start developing that earlier and maybe take away the short-sighted approach, it would be hugely beneficial.
Just when you see some of these clubs who have had the success, and you know, you're looking at a Corfin or a Crossmaglen Rangers over the last 20 years, and when you're looking in from the outside, James, or even a club like Dr. Crokes up the road, who've obviously had a massive 20 years.
What do you mean?
Like, what is it that they're doing? Like, is it as simple as just fostering the right culture and having the right people involved, always constantly recycling? Like, I'm looking at Cratloe, who have had Colin Collins coaching the club team for 18 years. They've had loads of different people coming in and helping out. We had 7 or 8 people in the club this year helping out with video analysis or coaching or doing different things for the team. But it's a team of people in the club doing it. And then you look down the line, Cratloe won a 14A double this year. I think they made history in Clare. They won the hurling and football at 14s. So Cratloe are now, the lads are there looking after what we've done this year, thinking, geez, if we hold on another couple of years, we could have another chance. Like, you know, there's another group of kids coming through that are going to be unbelievable. When you're in Legion and you're trying to build what you're doing, can you see that in the club?
Yeah, I can definitely, with the Legion, I can see kind of the starting point of a successful future. We have a lot of young fellas coming through, but we need to nurture them. And I, like you mentioned the Crokes, I can see across the road a team or a club that's been through huge success over the last 20 years in the Crokes. And most of that was down, it was down a lot in terms of the senior play to Pat O'Shea, who got the Crokes together, got them motivated, got them playing an unbelievable brand of football, like out and out Kerry football, like kicking, catching, hand passing, back post goals, tap-ins, just doing absolutely everything on point. Now, they did have the Gooch. They had Kieran Larry, you know, Johnny Buckley, Ambrose, Fionn Fitzgerald. They had a great team. But because they were playing that great football, it kind of sparked like a culture going down the years
of the team as well,
through the 12s, the 14s, the 16s. They all wanted to be playing this brand. They all wanted to be doing the outside of the boot passes like Gooch or, you know, hanging to the back post, things like that. And seeing those fellas do it, I think kind of started something for them. And the mixture of having the great players with it took them through a period of success. So maybe one person like Pat did for the Crokes can spark something.
You can see the Carfin, like Carfin are back now. They didn't really go away that long. They're only a couple of years. They were in quarterfinals and semi-finals, but it felt like you were watching the same style of team that won those 3 All-Irelands in a row. Like there's a culture there. There's a style of football, and you know, it's impressive when you see it permeating through the club, and you see that in certain clubs. Like so.
I agree with Jimmy's point there around Crokes, Dr. Crokes. Like the senior team is important to have that success there, because you said it. It creates an atmosphere around the club. The reality is, younger people, if they see their team winning, they're mad to go to the games. It creates an atmosphere around the community. You see it in all the teams that are going well at the minute. But the senior team as the figurehead is important to have success, but you need to have the balance within the club as well, and not lump in. And probably my own club, Bridget's, we would have suffered from this. We're a really strong senior team. Okay. Kind of drop the ball on an underage system. Whereas if you have the balance of your under 12s, your 14s, your 16s, your minor team, they're all getting really good coaching as well. That creates sustained success. Yes, the senior team is good, but that's a finite period of time if you don't have a conveyor belt coming through. And it's the clubs that you look at, those clubs that have sustained success. They have the right structures in place. They're run really, really well. You look at Kilcoo Crokes here in Dublin. You look at Corfin over in Galway. Yeah, they might cross the Glen, obviously. They mightn't win every year, but if they have a brilliant senior team and 4 or 5 of their kind of marquee players move on, there's younger guys who are mad to play. You know, they're passionate about playing for their club because they've been exposed for 10 years coming up through the ranks, and they're good players as well because they have the coaching. So the best clubs, they have that balance right between, yes, we want to be top of the pops in the senior championship, competing to win all the time, but they're the same teams that are winning Féiles under 16 championships. They're competing at all those levels, and it takes time to create it. And when you have it, it's so important to, as Jimmy said, have people around the club, not just the senior manager, but coaches and an atmosphere around the club. And those clubs that we've spoke about, they seem to have that, you know, and that's why there's year on year on year, they're always knocking on the door, you know. And yeah, it takes time to build it, but you can fucking lose it quick enough. And had it my own side, my own club here in Dublin, you know.
Tommy, Cratloe's money was gone on your signing on fee this year, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's
transfer fee.
It in.
They could be paying me to leave now at this stage. They could be paying me to leave.
$8 off the ball, and Cratloe are paying you a fucking fortune.
Yeah, I will be declaring that revenue for the tax man. Don't worry.
This is recorded. This is recorded.
There's no fear of that, but yeah, no. Yeah, look, that was it, lads. Thank you.
He's had
I don't
know. I don't really know what to say. Like,
all credit to Castlehaven.
No, genuinely.
Fair play to Brian Hurley.
I'm afraid I'm going to sound sour here, but like,
no.
You're disappointed. Like, you're gutted after.
Very, very bitter.
But you are
tough loss, T. No, we're only winding you up.
You should have heard him blame the referee on the phone to me, Paddy.
Wait till we get him off.
I didn't blame the ref.
Like Jose, turn into Jose.
No, I didn't. I didn't. No, we have.
I prefer not to speak.
I'm in a bad moment. Great pod, lads. Great to be back.
I think
club scene. Who'd have thought?
I'll end the pod by saying, well done to all the county champions around the country, junior, senior, and intermediate. Fair play to all the teams who are left in it, in the provincials, and are still in the mix.
Very gracious.
To all the players around the country who are in pre-season mode, getting ready for next year, doing sprints on their own, in the gym. Keep at it. You never know who's going to win next year. And to the teams playing in the O'Donoghue Cup and Kerry, best of luck.
I know the answer to it. I want to get down.
You could have put a bit of a beat to that. That was kind of a nice little verse.
The football pod is back. We're back for the next 5 Mondays. Paddy James, great to be back with you. The pod is going to be available on all platforms on a Monday. And as we said before, we have an exciting plan for season 4 that we'll be announcing in January. So stay with us. Stay tuned. The pod is back, bigger than ever.
We're back.
Paddy and James. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, boys.
Well done.